Svelte Runes change everything when it comes to creating functionality in Svelte or SvelteKit. In this video, I'm going to discuss what are Svelte Runes, the specific functionality of each rune, ancient rune crafting techniques from the High Elders, and then we are going to create some basic components with Svelte Runes. Let's get into it. Runes are a new functionality in Svelte 5 that allow us to create states, get values from states, get component properties, and more. This completely changes how we write Svelte applications. If we take a look at this example, we can see that in previous versions of Svelte, we would use let and a simple string to define variables. But now with Svelte Runes, you have to use function-based runes such as $state in order to hold values. Now let's delve into the world of Svelte Runes and take a closer look at each one's unique functionality. Firstly, we have props. $props is how you define the properties for your Svelte components. Let's say we have the component example component with a required property of hello world. Inside of the example component, at the very top, we will have our properties written out, where we can say let, then object destructuring with optional prop and required prop is equal to the props rune. With runes, this is the syntax of how you pass properties into your components. So in this example, required prop here would then have the value of hello world, and the optional prop would have the default value of 42. That's all you really need to know about properties at a basic level. Now let's move on to state. $state is how you define state values within Svelte. If we ever want to define a value that we know is going to change, we want to use the Svelte state rune. If we wanted to initialize a state called name with the name Cooper, it would look like this. When you change the value of a state, you can treat it just like a normal variable. You don't have to do any weird change state functions or something like that. So if we wanted to change our name state to the name Bert, we could do this, where name is equal to Bert. That's all you really need to know at a basic level for state runes. Now let's get into the derived rune. Derived is how you get the up-to-date value of a certain expression. We can understand this further by taking a look at an example here. We have a component here that has a width and a height as properties. Inside of the component, we use derived to calculate the area from the width and the height. Derived is important because if width ever changes or if height ever changes, we know that area is going to be updated. In another example, we can take a look at a basic counter where we can use derived to show the current count value times 2. So whenever the count state changes, or the user presses on this button here, the derived state is then going to get updated because derived helps us ensure that if any of the variables inside a derived, for example count in this case, if count changes, then we are going to change the value of doubled and recompute that value. When you think about the derived rune, think of getting up-to-date values for a certain statement. Now let's move on to effect. Effect is a function that gets called when the component has been mounted or when a value used within the effect changes. This code example shows effect in its most simple sense. If the area value ever changes, then the effect is going to get ran and the area is going to be logged to the console. This is kind of a longer example, so don't be too worried about the specifics, but effect also has a callback function you can return to it. This callback will get run whenever the effect gets rerun, so for example, getting run a second or a third time, or when the component gets destroyed. I know effects may be confusing, so later in this video I will make an emphasis to show them during the live coding. Finally, we have the effect.pre rune. Effect.pre is a function that gets called before the DOM updates, whereas the effect rune from before gets run after the DOM updates. This is good for specialized use cases, and it's just good to know that it exists. Now let's move into some live coding examples to get everyone familiar with Svelte Runes, and by the end, become a rune master. Right now, you can use Svelte 5 within this online preview that I'm going to link in the description if you guys want to code along. So this is the basic template that is going to start with us initially. So in the live coding section here, I'm going to build two components. The first one is going to be a greeting card component, and the second one is actually going to be a function where it's going to create a like counter. So for example, YouTube likes or something like that. So let's start with the greeting card. We want the greeting card to say hello to a first name and then also a last name. And so this means that we are going to have to use some properties. So if I go down here and I initialize a greeting card like this, it's of course going to say greeting card is not defined. In this preview here, we can create an external Svelte component by just going up here and then making it say greeting card dot svelte. And then inside of our app.svelte, we can then import greeting card from /greeting card.svelte. But right now it returns nothing. If we were to go in here and make it just a little h1 test, we'll then see that we are getting access to the greeting card here. At the top of our Svelte component, we can create a script. And inside of here, we are going to use our first rune. So I'm going to say let, and then use some object destructuring is equal to $props. I'm going to have two properties, one called first name and the other called last name. If we go over to our app.svelte, we can then pass in these properties by going into the component saying first name is equal to Cooper and last name is equal to codes. But right now we're not showing those actual values in our greeting card. So instead of saying test, we can say hello and then pass in the values. So we can say hello first name space last name. Now this is pretty cool. We have a hello Cooper codes and we can make more of these components, little greeting cards throughout our application. So if it was Bert codes, we could say hello Bert codes like this. One thing I want to emphasize in this greeting card is I want to make an effect that gets ran when our greeting card gets initialized, and also gets ran whenever our first name value changes. And so I'm going to just comment this out and say I want to make an effect, and I want it to get ran whenever first name changes. And I want it to log hello Cooper if the name is Cooper. And so we can initialize our effect rune by just saying $effect, and then passing in an arrow function to the effect like this. And so I'm just going to do a console.log here that's going to say effect ran. And so as you can see, the effect is going to get ran whenever the component's initialized, so right away. And I can also do some logic in here, for example, saying if first name is equal to, I'm going to do technically the capital Cooper like this. I'm going to do console.log hello Cooper. And so if I go back to my greeting card and change the name to anything that's not Cooper, so for example, Coop, you guys can only call me Coop if you know me, but you'll see that the console.log is going to go away here. But if I change it back to Cooper, there we go, it's going to say hello Cooper. And before I was talking about how inside of the effect we can return a callback function. And so in this return statement here, we can do just that, return a function. Just to make some console.logs here for practice, this is the callback, and it's going to only happen when it gets rerun or the component gets deleted. So if our effect gets rerun or the component's been deleted, we are going to call this callback. And just to put some emphasis on this, you can have whatever callback functionality you want here. This is just an example, so I'm going to have nothing, but I'm just going to say callback functionality under it. And so if we go over to our greeting card here and we completely delete it, and then we clear our console, and then we put the greeting card back into our application, you're going to see only the effect is going to run, and none of this callback functionality is going to run here. Well, to trigger a rerun on this effect, we can change the value of first name because it's inside of our effect. So if we go over here and change the value, now the callback functionality is going to get rerun, and also the effect is going to run here. And you can even see in the reruns after, it's going to constantly update. So if we change the name back to Cooper, it's going to enter that if statement and do the hello Cooper again. So this is just a kind of basic introduction into what's happening inside of the greeting card.svelte. And if we delete the greeting card, you're going to see that the deleted component functionality is going to be the last thing we see there. So this is kind of a basic introduction into using that effect in your applications. Now I'm actually going to get rid of the greeting card, and we are going to create this function to create a like counter. So this is an example of using states within our applications. So I'm going to say function create like counter, and we are going to have some functionality within this function to create our little counter. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to make a state to hold the count. So for example, let count is equal to $state of 0. And just to show you guys, eventually we're going to have a const counter is equal to create like counter like this. And so to create the different functionality for changing our count, I'm going to say return. We can get the count value by saying get count, return count. And then we can define a function to change our count by saying increment is equal to an arrow function, where the functionality of that function is count plus equals 1. This is a good example of how we can change this state value here, just like a regular variable. So count plus equals 1 is going to adjust our state and add 1 to it. If we also want to do dislike the video, for example, the decrement like this, we can just copy it over and say decrement instead and do minus equals 1. This then gives access to functionality, for example, counter dot increment is then going to run the functionality of the increment function here. To show the current value of the counter, I'm just going to do an h1 that says count is equal to counter dot count, which is getting the get right here, if you guys are curious where that's coming from. So it's going to return this count here, which is currently 0. Now I can make a simple button component where I'm going to say, like the video. So you guys, you could even test out if the YouTube functionality works right now by liking the video, if you wanted to. And then on the click, we would say counter dot increment. And when we click this, it's going to run counter dot increment and change the value of our state here. So as you can see, up, 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 and it's going to continuously call this function here where count is going to be plus equals 1. And of course, we could do the opposite of this by saying dislike the video. If you guys like my videos, don't test this out on YouTube, only like it. But if we wanted to, we could dislike the video. This can go into the negatives, but it shows you how we can adjust this state. And so hopefully this is helpful in understanding the functionality behind runes. One last thing I'm going to do at the bottom of our code here is I'm just going to make a simple state example where we use the derived rune. So I'm going to say let number state be equal to $state of 0. So just initializing a simple state. Then I can change the number state value just as an example. So we can say number state is equal to 5. And I'm going to get rid of the counter here just for simplicity. And I'm going to instead show the value of number state. So I'm going to say number state like this. So we can see it's going to be equal to 5. And just to show you guys, number state is equal to 5 like that. Then I can do something like const derived value is equal to $derived. And then we can get the number state. So number state like this plus, let's say 10. And so whenever number state changes, this derived value is also going to change. And so I can go in here and I can just say derived value is equal to the derived value here. So the number state is going to be 5, while the derived value is always going to be 15. And so that's technically a total of 3 different examples showing you guys how to use Svelte Runes in your applications. I think that Svelte Runes are actually a positive change. There's a lot of people who kind of got beef with the rune system, especially when you look at things like create like counter. With how things were done before, these update functions were really complicated. And so instead of having to call an actual update function and you can just do count plus equals 1, it really simplifies the whole process of working with values and especially working with states. All right, hopefully this video was helpful and thanks so much for watching.